Alright guys, I said I would show you some more stuff as I went along. Some of the things I do when I'm doing my cars. One thing was I thought I'd show you is how I strip the paint. I don't really use the gel kind of brush on stripper, paint stripper. I use a clean strip premium. It's an aerosol, and it's just something that I'd been using for small car parts in the garage, and I started using it on the Hot Wheels, and it works pretty good. It clings to the body. We're going to do the Dodge Wrecker tonight. I made a small container just out of an old beer can from cocktails one night, and I grabbed the parts with the small vice grips. I don't really clamp down on them. I just use it to pick the parts up with. This stuff will it'll go on, and like I said, it'll foam up and stick to the parts pretty good. I'm in a room. Normally I light this up pretty good and paint in here. Tonight I just have one fan on and two lights. I have a fan up there, exhaust fan. Normally if I'm going to stay in the room or painting or whatever, I have a fan on behind me. Anything that goes up in the air, any fumes in that, or just gets blowed right out, sucked right out. It's very nice working in here, and light it up a little bit more for painting and such. So I can do that inside all year long. So we're going to just put these like that. And give them a shot of the stripper of the aerosol here. Let that foam build up around it. Same thing for the cab. Let the foam kind of build up around the car. And then we let it work its magic. I clean the parts the same way in a lukewarm water with some soap and a brush. This one being an older Matchbox, I don't know if it's going to come off real easy, this paint or not, on this Wrecker, but we'll see. Normally this stuff works pretty good. So we'll let her sit for a little bit, and we'll come back later and check on it. Alright, we've been about a half hour in the foam there. Let's take a look and see what's going on. Oh yeah. It's all coming off pretty good. Yep, it's looking pretty good. That stuff's going to come right off there. So after about a half hour in the foam in there, in the stripper, the paint's starting to come off. Now notice guys, I'm not wearing any gloves. I don't usually wear gloves. I don't wear them to paint. I don't wear them to clean parts. Knock on wood, I don't get chemical burns. I'm very, very, very careful about what I do. I wouldn't suggest it to anybody else. Safety first. But this stuff will eat into nitrile gloves, so you gotta, whether you're wearing gloves or not, you have to be, think of it as it's going to eat your hands off, so you treat it as such. And I'm not going to handle it anymore looking through this camera, or I will burn myself. I'm going to take this over to the sink and wash it off. I don't, I've been, 30, almost 30 years in the shop working. I have all my digits, my eyes. I've never had anything lodged in my eyes. I've never, besides some cuts and stuff like that, I've never had bad problems. So, but I would use gloves if I were you. I would take care in using this stuff. It seems to set up the foam like the gel. It adheres to the car, sticks to it. That foam builds up around it and takes the paint right off. And I've had good luck with it. So that's the way I do it in the little cocktail can. We'll get her cleaned up, and then we'll take a look at it. We'll take a look at it all bare and see what that casting looks like. Okay, guys, over at the sink, you can see our body and the base. The castings come out pretty good. There is a nice yellow and green mess in the tin there. The aerosol does make pretty light work of this paint. Again, it's not, you can use whatever you like, the gel or the aerosol. I just happen to use the aerosol. I like it, and it's always worked good for me. I don't do a whole lot of, I hadn't done a whole lot of stripping in the shop, but for little parts and this stuff, I kept the aerosol around and it worked. Again, I don't use gloves to paint or to strip with. Something I would suggest that everybody do. Keep in mind that the stripper will eat through nitrile gloves, so you just got to keep in mind what you're working with at all times. Eye protection, use eye protection. With eye protection, you get what you pay for, just like anything else. So eye protection, respirators, welding helmets, you get what you pay for. You don't want to run around with one eye or a digit missing. So the truck's looking pretty good. I'm happy with that. That'll clean up nice and we'll get it ready for paint. And then we'll neutralize that mess in the cocktail container and get it cleaned up for the next time. Alright guys, thanks so much.